about that. Yep. Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh man,
Good
they missed
morning.
two of my
Geez,
fish.
sorry. I'm up here going and
No,
didn't realize it was not live.
no, it's all right. There'll be plenty more, hopefully.
Yeah, I just watched Zach catch two fish and didn't realize I didn't hit the live button. So sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good. I'm gonna say my wife. I'm surprised my wife hasn't texted me. She was already asking about, if we were gonna go live today.
Oh, dang it. Didn't catch up with
But
that one. Didn't catch up with that one.
Yeah, people, if you see me look down and looking, I'm also judging fish as they come in, and checking those.
Brad, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, just making sure.
My dog just saw a squirrel out the window. He can't stand it.
those damn squirrels.
20 and 3/4 come in.
I was gonna say, hopefully that ain't from the north bracket because I didn't know there were fish that big on this lake.
20. Well, Dave was right about the East coming in with some good fish.
So did you say? Oh, we're alive now, right, Brad?
Yes, we are live. Right
Okay.
now, Motor City
Okay.
Ambassador. Let me
I
see.
well, I did. I told my wife I'd say happy birthday.
Okay, you need me to edit that out?
Okay. Well, I told. No, I told my wife I'd tell my son happy birthday on the live because they said they would watch.
Well, you may have to do that a little bit too, right
He's
toward the
only
end.
a
It's
year
still
old, so
early.
he's a year old. He's not going to know what I'm saying anyways, but principle, right?
Yeah. Lost Dave again. He said he was in some bad area. Right
Yeah,
now we have
the
Motor
service
City
on this lake.
Ambassadors. Yeah, right now we have Motor City Ambassadors with 118. Midwest Bass Mob with 104.25. The Berserker Fishing Club with 45. That's out of the north. The east was sitting with the Virginia Anglers with 165.5. Tar Heel Lunkers with 108. The Norfolk Privateers with 63.75. Big Bass right now is still sitting at 21 and 3/4 with Keith McGee.
Nice.
So out of y'all's side for Big Bass, it's still between you and Mike, 16 1/4.
And I know Mike submitted his first because his was pretty early, and I think I submit mine
Yes,
about maybe maybe like 15, 20 minutes ago.
yes.
And Mike's the Lone Ranger down here for the Berserker team.
I was kind of surprised at that. I know they had been doing,
Yeah,
hadn't.
they they have four guys, but I know that Wes and Jake, I believe they both had a prior commitment that they had to be at. Um, and then I'm not sure, what about Dustin? Um, which I mean, it is what it is. Mike's down here. He said he caught like 18 fish yesterday. So just because he's the lone man down here doesn't mean that they're gonna roll over.
No,
Yeah.
after
Actually,
doing
Mike
these
ended
for
up.
several years. Yeah, after
Yeah.
doing these for several years, I seen where one person can make a lot of difference and even win
Oh
a
yeah.
match.
Oh yeah. Mike actually ended up staying with us last night because he originally he said that with it just being him, he didn't really want to spend all the money on a Airbnb or a hotel or anything. So he's like, I'll just see you guys at the ramp on Saturday morning. And I told him, I'm like, dude, we got an extra couch at our place. I'm like, just come stay with us. And so he actually got out here yesterday, and we all got to go to dinner last night and listen to some locals sing some karaoke, which was interesting.
I think I got it on Facebook Live too now.
So we need one couple more of these docks to be holding fish.
I got Dave back in. I don't know how. Present.
Yeah, I'll probably get in and out for a little bit here, but I'll try my best.
Okay. So it's only PDF that'll share.
What's that, Brad?
I'm trying to figure out how to show the score line or score. I say score the
Oh, the
38
leaderboard.
page. Yes,
Yeah, if
leaderboard.
you do share and then window, and then you can select your browser window. That's the best way to do it.
Oh, okay. Nope, not that dashboard. There we go.
So Dave, how's the weather out there for you guys?
Beautiful. Like we had a little cold snap, but we were mild last night. We're kind of in between a little coastal low and a weak cold front coming in. But I mean, it's no wind, no storms, no rain, no nothing.
Nice. Yeah, we were. I know we were talking about the cold weather for both of us, and I know it's the sun's out now and there's not a cloud in the sky, so it's warming up quick. But this morning it was like 40, like 42. It was like 42 to 45 at the boat ramp.
I'm ready for it. Bring it on.
Oh yeah,
Mine's
I
picked up to 17. Go ahead.
I wish it would have been like this though for a couple of days, because I feel like these fish they're like 1 or 2 days away from early cold mornings like that from going full fall bite.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you got looking at their weather down here. After today, it jumps right back up into the 80s. So,
Another couple
which,
swings before it sets in.
yeah,
Well, this lake we're fishing is known. I mean, local tournaments, it's everybody's favorite lake just because it has quantity and quality. Always takes mid to upper 90s minimum to win here. Is a 21 up to, I think I've seen a 23 and a half out of here in a tournament for big fish. What's wild about it, I don't target usually, but in the last month, all of the hydrillas, we know they put carp and treated it last year, and they put more carp this year, and they definitely had to have treated it because between July, end of July and now, it's just amazing. But it's positioned the fish in a very strange way. Um, at least this previous week. I mean, they're chewing just about everywhere you throw in a certain area. I'm not in that area because I'm in an area where I'm trying to get a big. It's known, quantity's not up here, but quality can be. It's either hot or dry, or hot or cold, and I think it's cold today, unfortunately. So I'm not going to spend too much time up here.
Yeah.
But
No, this being a new lake to all of us, it's definitely, figuring it out. Like I was telling Brad earlier, it's about seven. I think it's just shy of 700 acres. So I mean, it's
pretty
not a
common.
big lake by any means, but
Yeah.
without exaggerating, I would say again, 800 docks easy
Oh,
on this lake.
a dinker. That is not the kind of fish we're looking for.
There you go. Okay.
That is not the ones we're looking for. Case in point, I've caught a 21 and a half off that same laydown, and that's not a 21 and a half.
It's sitting there finning you right now.
Let's say the 21 and a half just watched you take its kid.
Take your kid, yeah. Now he's pissed and go back and get him. Well, to that point, I mean, I almost would. I can't keep up with that one. Oh my goodness, really? How about his brother? I'd almost rather be fishing somewhere. This is kind of the home field curse, and it's funny because this lake's 10 minutes from my house, I think I said, and the Lunkers did not choose this lake. The Virginian anglers chose it because there's some guys that are in North Carolina that fish on that team, and Sean Boersma loves this lake. He's done really well. So I say all that because it's like, you're fighting the don't get overconfident, don't get overcomfortable for every stone. Fish history, don't fish history. So it's been an anxious couple of days. I'm not gonna lie.
That's why, like I said, I was super happy when we did the centralized lake at the end because it's one of those things you don't go into it with any predetermined I'm going here, I'm going there kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what's hurt us, in the past when we've had team events. But this year we were definitely able to like Lake St. Clair. I fished a spot that I've never fished before when we were on St. Clair this year.
Right.
Did fairly well, but
Yeah, it could get interesting if the Virginia anglers come out on this win here for y'all in the East.
Well, the scenarios are if we win the region. If we take second place and don't lose our 71 and a half inch total inch margin, we win the region. We can still come in third, but the anglers have to win and then not lose our 71 and a half inch margin. So it's ours to lose, but that's the nerve wracking part.
I know. We went through it on our side.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
kind of,
tight
I
every.
would say that's the pretty much same situation here for us. I mean, it was unfortunate when we heard that the Berserker team was only going to be able to send one, but you know, I know Mike wasn't going to go down without a fight because I think our scenarios are pretty similar in the fact that if we win, we win. We take second, we win, or we win the region, and if we take third, we just have to hold on to a 35-point margin. So a little bit slimmer than the 70 point that you guys have, but I think the only thing working to our advantage here is that I think if everybody catches a limit on this lake, I think it's going to be hard to have a 35-inch spread between first and third.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's going to be you're going to see a lot of 15 to 16-inch average limits. So
Yeah, it's kind of smaller average, but it sounds like just like here. This is I told the guys this is the great equalizer because everybody can get rich in a hurry here.
Oh yeah.
But
I
it's
know we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish over 20 down there on the east side right
on the
now.
east. Yep, I'm not surprised. Well, I am surprised because the Virginia guys didn't indicate that they got any bigs. I know Keith's got two for us. They were getting quality 17s and 18s, I think, in practice, and we were getting that. And I think we just knew we needed some kickers. So we
Yeah,
shall
he
see.
started off this morning good, yeah, with 221s.
Oh man, he out of the gate, which he had to pivot. I mean, we were locked in where he was going to fish, and he went up there yesterday. We went there last week, and it was pretty good. And he went there yesterday, and it was horrible. So that's awesome for him to basically fish a spot we pointed out and said, "Do this," and he made it happen. So
Yeah, the biggest thing on these matches is when you have somebody move, do they stay in the spot all day? I mean, it's like fishing a regular tournament, but when you're trying to do the matches, or do I have somebody, if he's tearing them up and somebody's not, do I have him go, someone else go over there and assist, or do I have them try to
right,
change up and do something a little bit different?
Yeah,
well,
and I know
it's that
that
gut feeling, man.
we've had that conversation, almost every tournament, and I mean, it just comes down to, if you've got a guy that like, hey, he's gonna just sit there and hammer him all day. It's one of those that, like, if you know that that guy's gonna be able to do it and he's gonna be able to put up 10 fish alone. My thought on that is, why limit two people to one area when you're just going to beat it up? I mean, that these lakes that we fish, I mean, there could be a random strolling fish that just for some reason happens to be right where you cast your lure at any given time. And
Oh yeah,
we've had the St. Clair, for example. My morning started out fantastic, and I was on fish, and everybody, nobody even was like, "Oh, I'm going to come over and sit by you." Like, no, just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually the fish will come.
yep.
So,
But I
Well,
still
it's
look at like kind of what you're saying. You're trying to catch a dragonfly, whipping it through the wind like that.
no, I'm going to try
But
to
we
get
each
you guys
have a
a top
different
water.
technique, so in that we could still be fishing the same water and one catching, one not, or one catching all 15 to 16s, and another guy comes in and pulls out the 18 to 20s. It's just
Yeah,
something
exactly.
different on the bait.
Try to get myself a nice top water bite here. Just had one hit as soon as that bait hit the water, but he didn't want to stick around for dessert.
It's fun watching the different styles of fishing too. We're looking at your rod, and I figure you're using a medium to medium heavy, watching that tip move so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm up there, almost every one of mine is heavy on the base, but I go from a moderate to extra fast on the tip, depending on what type bait I'm using.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, up here, I doubt you're being down by you. You're probably not much of a finesse guy.
No,
Um, when it comes to anything other than my bait casting rods, when it comes to pretty much all of my spinning rods, I've got two ultralights that I'm basically using every time I'm out on a smallmouth lake, just because I want that fish to be able to basically set the hook on himself.
back to the leaderboard here, get it updated. That, share screen. Yeah, there we go. Here's an update on our screen for our matches, the north and the up top with the east and the lower three. Motor City Ambassadors, 145, as you can see. With the Bass Mile, Midwest Bass Mile right behind him, 136.5. Berserkers trying hard at 45. Mike's not going to give up on them. Coming down with the Virginia Anglers, 169.75. With the Tar Heel Lunkers behind them at 108. The Norfolk Privateers with 80.5. Still real early in the day, guys.
Hey, Brad, that 140, whatever it was that you said for us, is that how many fish is that?
That's what I'm fixing to look at now.
Okay, I was just curious because
3,
I figured.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we got a. I'm sure we got a couple of smalls on there that we got to get out. But
You got your smallest is a 12, and right behind that's a
yeah,
12.25.
yeah, that's got to go.
You got two 12s showing. Your next jump is
Okay.
14.
Okay. Well, it's good. Good to hear that there's already 10 on the board, though.
Like y'all went lines in at 6:30.
Yeah, we ended up moving it up. We were going to do 6:45, but then we
Yeah,
decided we wanted to have lines out be 2:30, so we just ended up doing 6:30.
gotcha.
It's still a little dark, but we managed.
Yep. I may not have seen, but Tim Smith said, "Morning, guys," earlier. I posted up on the site.
So Tim,
Yeah, Tim. That's all right.
I think it's super cool. We got a couple of the dads of the guys on our team that they follow us. Like, yeah, they're basically our cheerleading section, and I love seeing the dads be able to watch their kids, just do fish.
yeah, it's awesome. All right.
A few judging a few
Debating.
fish now. Yeah, right. Just as I started to judge, I get a text showing the release of one of the fish. It's one of the ones that had a bad eye, so I had a video
Awesome.
going with the fish showing that it was alive. I could tell by the color of the fish it was, but with the bad eye, that was just a safety precaution. Video, doing a video of its release being alive.
I don't know that I did that. I caught a fish that was just completely missing an eyeball. It was just a straight hole right through, and you could see the
Socket.
inside of its head. That's creepy.
Like one of the tournaments I placed fourth in years ago, I kept fishing this about a 17, 18-inch bass running down the bank. I kept
Mm-hmm.
casting at it. Couldn't get it to hit. I tried everything. I finally gave up on it, just said it wasn't going to hit. So I went across to another finger, the lake, fished it, caught one little one. It gave me my four fish, but one of them was like 12 and a quarter inches. I said, let me go back and try that other one again. Maybe I'll see it. I go back and I see it. I cast at it, nothing. And it was every time I was looking at it, it was going from my left to the right down the bank. So I backed off. I got ready to change out the bait, and I see it coming back down the bank, going from right to left. As soon as I flipped the bait out in front of it, it charged it, hit it, and took off with it. Got it in. It was blind in the right eye. So as it was going
Okay.
from left to right, it wasn't seeing my bait because it was right against the bank, and my bait was already past the bank
Yep.
side, not realizing that it was hitting on his blind side, and he was not seeing the bait.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Tim said need to call a 12 and 12 and a quarter.
Where'd that dot go? That one. Nope. Oh.
So we should be live on our Facebook page and on here.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot a message to the rest of my team and make sure they all got the memo that that we were live. I know the one of them broke his phone tether.
Y'all do better than
He
what my
broke his.
team does.
Yeah, well, I figure this is our last match for the season, for the regular season at least, hopefully, and they figured see how many guys we can at least get on here.
So Dave, what are you using for your bait?
You ain't gonna believe it. Anybody else from the Virginia team's on? No. Okay, good. It's not really playing here in this part of the lake, but on the other end of the lake it played. I'm actually throwing a 3.5-inch tube. Trying to mimic bluegill.
Or I see those comments. What bait will you go to if you only had one bait to choose? And it's a tube bait. I very seldom use that sucker, but that's what That's what I would do. It would still be the tube. It's too versatile.
It's versatile. It's weedless. It's catch bigs, catch littles. I don't throw it a ton. I mean, I've tried. I mean, typically I'll throw it in the early spring pre-spawn. And I'm probably not going to throw it much today, honestly. I mean, we were thinking it'd be overcast, and my plan was to chunk and wind topwater all day. So I tried 3 different topwaters and only got one dink. Now the sun coming up, flat calm. I'm just not feeling the topwater bite.
Well, I got over 400 or 500 of those one color tube that I like.
I feel like my answer, everybody's going to say I'm lying, but the old answer for that for me would have been throwing a Ned rig, but I would probably throw a chatterbait. I just feel like you can use them pretty much any time of year. You can change your retrieve speed, you can change your retrieve style, and depending on how good it is, you can even throw it as basically a jig if you have to.
What would the world be without the chatterbait?
Yep, I was actually listening
it's funny. I don't know if you saw one.
Oh, God.
So when we had Rick Morris join our team, local guy here, and the MLF guys were doing a rate the bait thing, and they were talking about chatterbaits, and Dustin Connell was like talking about Rick Morris on some St. Johns River in Florida throwing the chatterbait, and we copied that out, and that's how I introduced Rick to the other teams in our region. They got a good laugh out of it.
That's awesome.
So our Rick Morris is the grandfather of the chatterbait, and we're sticking to it.
Nice. Yeah, I've caught smallies on chatterbaits. I've caught largemouth chatterbaits. I mean, it just all really depends on how you retrieve it, and it's a versatile bait. But I know the one thing I never even really knew, and I guess I don't know how many people actually know this. So, but I guess the original design of the chatterbait was made to mimic a crawfish. It was not like just to be reeled straight back in. And I was like, I get that because crawfish jumps off the bottom, they're going to make that thump the way that the blade does.
The 27 that I caught back in I don't even 18, I reckon it was February 15th, it was a bait made by Stanley Lures that was their rendition of the chatterbait. But it had a problem. It had a wedge head on it from his wedge uh, jigs for punching. And as you retrieve it, that wedge head having a flat side would cause the bait to constantly rise and come out of the water
Yep.
or come to the top. So it didn't do what they wanted it to do. But it made an excellent flutter bait by bringing it across and letting it flutter back down. It had a very erratic fall with that type of head and the small type blade that it had on it. And it just happened to fall right in front of that 27 incher.
I
So we got George in now. Let me bring him up.
I know a
There you
lot of
are,
guys
George.
that, what was it, Gunnersville. I know guys that'll go down there and they'll just sit there and yo-yo a Ned rig down into that or not a chatterbait, in and out of that tall the tall grass areas that have pockets. They'll just drop
Yes,
a chatterbait right down in it and just keep popping it, basically vertical jigging in the chatterbait.
we lost George. I've done a swim
Yeah,
bait there at Gunnersville the same way on a spin and done
I know
very well
George.
too.
George broke his phone tether the other day, so I don't know what he's got going on, but I know he was asking around if anybody had an extra, like, Rogue Gear or RoboHawk, like, holder for it. So hopefully you got something.
You got 65-pound braid. He can make something work.
Right. I used to do I would just drill a hole in the bottom of my phone case and put like 55-pound braid and just tie a little fisherman's knot on it and put a carabiner clip on it.
Roll with it. Yep.
You go out. He's been running back and forth against this door here, watching squirrels. He's been very good at not barking, but he's starting to growl a little bit much. Zach, are you going under the docks or just down the sides?
I mean, I'm trying not to be the guy that whacks docks first thing in the morning, so I'm trying to get under them as much as I can. But you know, if it's just next to it, these fish seem to be a little bit. They're not tight on the docks that I'm finding. They're willing to come off of the dock to grab a bait. So pretty much as close as I can get it, and then just kind of let it sit for a minute. Unfortunately, this is more of in my opinion, what was going to be a lot of guys' midday option, just because there's just not a lot to fish out here other than docks, and I think a lot of guys are going to be targeting them later on in the day. So at this point, why not get to them before everybody else does?
I understand the theory in that. As the sun goes up, bass will move up under
Mm,
into the shade. Now
yeah.
let's give
Well,
George a chance. There we
there's just
got
not a
George
lot of
back.
cover. There's just not a lot of cover on this lake. I mean, other than the docks. So
We got
I
you,
mean,
George.
somebody sunk about 300 brush piles out there somewhere.
I know up by us, there's a lot of lakes, especially the big smallmouth lakes. Guys they'll take their Christmas trees out there every year and just set them on the ice, and when it thaws, the trees are falling through and making structure.
Another dink. This is not what should be here. Another dinker. Oop, there's another bite. Probably a small one.
Man, you guys, you
Probably
weren't
another
kidding.
small one.
You weren't kidding about the fish there wanting everything you throw.
Well, and this is terrible. I mean, you should say, I want to be throwing reaction stuff, but I just don't feel where I'm at. So I'm getting ready to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dragging a shaky head right now.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, bass mobbs only have 9, and they're 9 inches, or less than 9 inches behind you.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, there goes that lay down.
And they're smaller. They only have one small one right now, and it's 13 3/4.
Okay. Yeah, I know. From what I saw this morning, they were really focusing on a topwater bite, and I wasn't getting much topwater over the last couple days, and didn't really find anything too appealing that I wanted to spend all my time throwing frogs at or anything like that. So I did catch an 18 right in this spot that I'm at pre-fishing. So I'm hoping that there's another one similar to it. Of course, I took the jacket off, and now the wind's going to pick up.
Send me wind. Send me wind.
Something's not right. Let me check something here. Well, it's showing that, but somehow or another, I'm showing more than 10 fish. But I don't know if it's showing more than 10 fish, which usually does not happen on the board.
Is that for us
Checkbox
or?
and Tourney X.
And Tourney X probably.
Yeah, there's a checkbox in Tourney X for your maximum fish limit. Oh, oh man.
Well, I got 10 down as the maximum, but when I'm showing up over here, usually under each name, it'll only show the fish that's counted as the 10.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm showing more than that for Virginia anglers.
We got a
Oh,
It's
handicap
early.
beside
You
that
got
one.
all day to figure it out.
No, I got somehow or another. I got Stephen Bell on there twice. Oh, that's right. We got a senior junior.
Oh, he's a senior and a junior. Yeah, that's the issue. We need to get them to like change their Tourney X names. That's caused problems
Oh,
before.
yeah, that is
Uh,
showing a problem right now.
Bell 1, Bell 2.
Hopefully, they have a different color measuring board or something to decipher.
Because I'm showing it's adding the dads to the son's fish. So now, somehow or another, on the leaderboard. So they may not have 107. I don't, still not right though. Let's see what they're showing.
Hmm.
So right now, either one, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 10 fish for them, and I think that's right, but 157.25. The 170 is not correct. Because it's putting both the bales fish are together, but it puts them both together under both names. But when I look at the name totals, it gives me the total of each person, so I can do that and see what we got. That's what I'm fixing to do. Double check. I'm showing 157.25. All right. Sean's got 86.5 plus senior bale 55 plus Chris 15.75 plus junior bale. Well, that's still showing 170 and a quarter. I mean 170 and a half then. Let me double make sure senior's right. 20.
That ain't gonna help.
Yeah, they shows the fish on there for both, but their totals are correct then. When I'm
Not
getting
even
at the
12.
total under each name, even though each bale shows both of them's fish, but their total under their name is showing what they actually caught. So they are at 170 and a half. So it's not a double count between the two. I didn't want that to mess somebody up. I don't think I can go back in and add a 1 or a 2 to their names. No, unfortunately, I cannot do that. Steve's coming on up there. He's done got 82 1/4 for his 5 fish.
Steve Perry?
Yeah.
Good. That bite's starting to happen. That's the bite I need to go chase. I need to get out of here. Yep, we're doing it. We're making the move.
I'm going to have to make a move real quick to myself, and it's not going to be that tight. My dog's
I was gonna say that's the kind of move I had to make.
Somebody finally got another 12 1/2. Ray's finally put one on the board.
Brad, how many fish does Lunkers have on the board?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Wait, let me roll it because it should be an update. No, 8.
Just 8.
Yep, 8. Somebody caught 2 dinks and then wasn't able to post them.
I've got a 12-incher. I got a 12 1/4, but I ain't uploading it.
Oh. Right now, your smallest fish showing is 15-inch.
Yeah. Needs to be 18 by the end of the day.
I wish that
Tell
was
my
that.
guys,
I wish
we
it was.
get our 5 each, and we'll move up from there. We'll worry about it after that.
I say it's always hard when you know there's not 10 on the board to just be like, especially in these northern lakes, because there are some days where that 12-inch you throw it back and you're gonna sit there the rest of the day and you're gonna be like, man, I wish I would have taken a picture of that thing.
Yeah.
And we're looking at Eric's nose hairs.
Sorry. Better than my
I don't know if y'all can see in front of me. I took this every year. This is the first tree that turns in the fall. It's all by itself. A red maple. It's early this year, way early. It's always my sign that it's football season. Cormorants, are you trying to tell me something? Cormorants. I'm not listening. Getting out of Dodge.
Yeah, Tim, I've looked at it. One of them only has a 13 1/4, and the other one has the other 3
I was
fish.
smacking them pretty good. Did you fish that side of that? Yeah, go fish that. The whole
George must have covered up his camera lens. So the anglers have 10. Lunkers have 8. And the privateers have 8. Ambassadors with 10. Bass Mob with 9. And the Fishing Club with 3. Well, it just dropped. The Virginia Anglers just dropped their 13 1/4 out. Body went quiet.
Yeah, kind of feels like this lake goes into like a mid morning lull. It's like I said, I didn't find anything as like a good morning topwater bite, so that's why I kind of just I went straight pretty much to an offshore bite this morning, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna go do docks. So, but I'm kind of pushing back shallow because I'm not getting much right now.
I'll be right back. Y'all keep in. Oh, turtle guy.
Fish in the weeds. Here, weeds.
Oh, that was a fish. Funny thing is, George, I just asked myself the same question, but mine after it came out of the weeds, a fish was there.
Yeah, mine was just weeds.
Yeah, I pulled it to get it out of the weeds, and then there was a fish, and I was like, "Oh no, you were a fish."
There were weeds where I didn't expect there to be weeds. So
Yeah, that's always a nice problem, especially in a lake like this.
right.
We call those surprise weeds.
My bite went real quiet.
There's a whack. Come on.
Good. Bring this back up.
So what's the score tracker say there?
All right. That's what was just brought up. Motor City Ambassadors, 145. Midwest Bass Mob, 136 and a half. The Berserker Fishing Club at 45. We're going to the Virginia Anglers. They're 175 and a quarter. Now, guys, if you look at this, there is two Stephen Bales there. One is father, one son. Count their bowl measurements. Don't look at the bottom because they combined them for both of them. So you have one at 55 and one has a 16 and a quarter. So Virginia Anglers at 175 1/4, Tar Heel Lunkers at 141.50, and the North Fork Privateers 123.75. James Quinn sent you a good luck, Dave Hart.
What's up, James? Appreciate you, buddy. Ran my history from a couple months ago, and it didn't pan out, James. So now I'm gonna go run what's been good. Had to check it though.
Hey, it's something about fishermen. We have a spot, no matter where we are, we're going to check it, hoping. And it might have been we caught a 20 there, and that'll be the only time we ever catch any fish at that spot. But we're still going to pitch to it.
You're still gonna, even if it's all the way on the other side of the lake from the boat launch, you're gonna start there. You're gonna go all the way across the lake for that one potential fish.
Or you'd say, well, let's see. It's like one certain dock, you know, it's going to be toward the afternoon, and all. Stephen Bale said, "Let's get them."
Well, what's timely is I'm heading back to the back of this pocket where I caught a 21.5 Thursday, and there's about a 0.5% chance that I'll catch it today. But I gotta try it because you have to try that, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
started talking about that earlier with Zach and I was talking about where he had caught a good fish and hoping it was going to be there. And you wonder if you'll catch the same fish the next day or within 2 days. I was fishing Fellsmere, caught a 14-incher on a wacky setup, kind of wacky type between that and a whatever you put the weight in on one end, but I did it a little bit different. But
Nico.
I measure the fish, I look at it, it has a humpback. So I take the picture, throw the fish back in the water. I mean, it's a good cast because I'm throwing across a mat, casting to the other side of the mat and letting the bait fall.
Right.
So I cut my line, take off about a 1/2 foot of it, retie, get another worm set up, put it on there, make the cast. Worm starts going out, down, the line takes off. Set the hook, pull it back in, put the fish on the board. And I'm looking at it and said, dang, there must be some good genetics in here. This looks like the same fish. I got home and looked on the computer on a big screen. It was the same fish caught on the next cast.
Yes, that's next
So
cast is crazy.
done,
I mean, I know smallmouth will do that from time to time.
but I mean, it had a 20-yard swim
That's crazy.
under that grass mat to get back to that spot. But it did take me a little bit to, cut the line, retie, dig through the packs, find the worm, put on there. So at least 2 minutes, but still. I've had another tournament where my son caught like a 20-incher on one side of the point. The dad was fishing the other side of the point, and they were staying pretty much in those positions. The dad caught the same 20-incher about 30 minutes later. And some people were speculating that their son had given it to him. No, we already had people witness that it was caught that way.
Mm-hmm. I had that happen not too long ago, actually. One of the Michigan month-long tournaments that we did, went out on like a Friday. I caught a 20 on a chatterbait at like the mouth of a cove. Went back on Saturday and caught the same fish on a frog about a 1/2 mile away from where I caught him.
Yeah, I got Stephen Bell in Jr. Now, who has the most fish? Because somehow or another, we got to get you and your dad to add a JR to one name or SR.
He's got more than me right now.
So you just got that one good one.
Yeah, I'm coming behind him. He's catching all the big ones, and I'm just getting the little ones behind him.
Well,
Hey Ray, are you in the show?
No, I don't think Ray's in here.
There was just a big explosion that came from over by where he was, and I'm just not sure what it was.
I heard that. I heard it where I'm at.
Like, I mean, there was 3 boats worth of. Never mind.
Somebody playing with tannerite?
Well, it's either that or something else. If there was
I
a
say, I
certain
don't know.
demographic of people who are known for harvesting more than their fair share of animals as a sort of a stereotype, then there may be certain people like that who are on the lake, and I was curious if they're throwing dynamite in.
Sport duties fishing, huh?
Wait, you're not using the dynamite we got?
Right?
I didn't hear that was an illegal bait. I put treble hooks on it.
Angie,
Yeah.
Angie Hubble said, "Let's go, lunkers."
What's up, Angie? Long time no see.
All right.
Angie, I got to go find your husband because he's doing a lot better than I am. I go sit and watch him like I did the last event. Then we fish
Still there
together.
right now. What I'm talking about.
We got 2 of the Midwest guys over here with me. I know one of them's random.
Are you through that first pitch point, or like how far east are you?
I'm coming. I'm actually heading back to the middle part. I fished the spot where me and you were together.
Okay.
But
I'm at the culvert.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm heading back out towards that main island.
She says, reeling some fish.
I've reeled in some dinkers. That's about all.
Little coffee break here.
About to get loud for a second.
Going down a little bit. Making a run. Well, it looks like he's making a run. It's not really him making a run because I'm looking at the screen, and the screen, how they show up on a video, makes it look like the shadows are flashing. A lot of people here fishing, but no catching.
I just had a whack.
Wouldn't
right
that
when
be
I
a
threw it in
typical
there.
live stream?
Right? I was gonna say, unless we're doing it with unless we're doing it the way the pros do, where they only cut to you when you gotta, or the majors do, where they only cut to us when we got a fish on.
Yeah, they got that little 10-second delay.
Well, it never
Yeah.
fails when David's running
Hey.
this and he cuts away from me. It's when I catch the fish.
Cut away from me then.
Hey George, I think that big bang that you heard was kind of over towards me because I see some smoke up in the air.
Huh.
But it's like it's off. It's not on the lake. It's north of the lake.
Okay.
But at least, I mean, it might be something completely different. But usually, if you hear a big bang, there's probably some smoke.
I don't think that was a fish.
Had a few big bangs.
That was not a fish.
This cast.
What'd you call all this black floating stuff on the lake, George?
Witch's hair.
Witch's hair? I hate it.
Yeah.
Every single time I'm reeling this bait in, it's coming in with witch's hair just all over it.
I mean, that's not my word for it. That's somebody, somebody told me that, and it seems to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, definitely looks like it. Smells like it would be too. It smells awful. Feel like that's what I would imagine it would smell like.
I think my granddad told me that when I was a kid, and it's stuck.
Yeah, makes sense.
Come on. How was there not a fish right there ready to eat?
He's washing his hands,
It might be.
getting ready.
Oh, how did you do that, self? Oh, that came out. That smaller bang was my jig head against their dock.
I've been trying to avoid that all morning. I hit one dock. And of course, it was the one dock that somebody was sitting out on their porch watching.
I never make a good. I never video my amazing cast where you thread the needle and.
Oh, right. You skip it under like
that one's
three.
never on camera,
You skip it under 3 different docks all at the same time.
right? But you hit the one thing that's right there.
All right. Well, Chris, the Virginia Anglers just pulled in a 20-incher. That's 1, 2, 3, 4,
That was
5, 6, 7 over 20, 20 and above
Jeez.
out of the east side.
yeah,
I think one of them.
East side is the big side.
maybe we just move the national championship to there. No,
Were you
That's
guys
our
one,
one
fishing?
come
next
on.
year.
Come one,
I,
come on.
I love Caddo. I've got my PB came from there, so I'm hoping we can make it back because I know I'm not going to break that in Michigan ever.
You don't have
Well, when we did
24-incher
our
bass in Michigan?
No, I don't.
Yeah, no.
I think the fish I caught would actually have been Michigan state record.
well, Alabama Hammers got one of their guys got a 24 there.
Yep.
So
I had back in 2019 at the national championship. I think it was 24 inches, but I was using the fish stick at the time when that was allowed, and the 24-inch line is right on the crease of where the board folded, and the way that they looked at it, they put it in. Oh, there's a dock. They put it in as a 23.75 because you couldn't actually tell that it hit the 24 line. But yeah, that was my PB from down there. But she went 10 pounds on the scale.
yeah, that's not bad. Most 24s down here bump about 8.
Yeah, yeah, she was definitely just like I think she was ready to pop because I mean she was a healthy fish. But and
Yeah,
Brad,
for that time of the year, that's good.
I feel
Hmm?
well that was back in 2019. They did the national championship in March, so I think we fished the 3 days down there from March like 21st or 22nd, third and fourth or something. But I was gonna say you'll probably cringe when I tell you when you hear what I caught it on there, Brad. I caught it on a Ned rig,
Ah,
the old Ned rig next to the cypress tree.
no, what I would cringe is find out it was a spinning reel with like 10-pound test.
It
Why
was.
would you use such heavy line?
I was
Why
gonna
would you
say. I
use?
think I'm pretty sure it was a spinning reel with about 8 pound test throwing a Ned rig, but and it was the small Ned rig too. It wasn't even the big one because I got a replica of her made and she's up on my wall and I've got the bait that I actually used in her mouth and from a distance you can't even see the bait. It just looks like a deformity on her mouth.
Yeah, one I got mounted with the frog in the mouth. It looks like a little piece of a peanut.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy the difference because like my PB smallmouth from Michigan is a 7, and that one like that a smallmouth a 7 pounder like you're gonna still see a Ned rig hanging out of the mouth of that. But when you get down there to Louisiana and you got those bucket mouth Florida strains and the Louisiana bass, it's just their mouths and their whole head is just shaped different.
Right now, still the Virginia anglers with 10, the Lunkers and privateers both with 8 on the east side.
Still not uploading my 12.
On the north, the Ambassadors with 10, the Bass Mob with 9, and the Fishing Club with 3.
That's been the score for about an hour for us, hasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like that. Like I was saying, I feel like there's just like a midday lull out here where they'll bite in the morning and then they just kind of die off a little bit. And I mean, we picked them out pretty good midday the other day, but it was also like 10 degrees warmer.
Yeah, I've lost 3 to 4 degrees water temp.
Yeah, I'm at 71 where I'm at. You know what? That looks like a good spot right there.
I can tell you, some Bell there, he's happy with what they got. He doesn't care if he's bringing in the back end of the team. He's grinning from ear to ear. Their small fish right now for the anglers is 16 and a quarter.
Sounds like it's a good problem to have.
All right.
Hoping to try to change that here in a few minutes.
Well, they have 2, so let me see on the angler side. Sean Bozeman has 7 fish. Eric Stark with 7 fish.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, I got 2 fish to put in.
I guess I probably could have just submit that 12. I always forget to do that. After you know they don't count for your team anymore, you just start throwing them back.
Yeah, the first year they did that, I didn't realize that they were doing an angler. So the whole
Hmm.
team was sitting there throwing fish back because we were trying to cull a 14 and we were catching a bunch of 12 to 13s up to 14. And we were
Hmm.
throwing the fish back, not realizing they were doing an angler side.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I know they used to do the whole like the MVP and everything like when it started, and it was based off of like the anglers' total submissions throughout the year. And I mean, there were tournaments where I remember throwing 14, 15 inches back without even taking pictures of them because we didn't need them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I threw more fish back than I caught.
Hmm.
Wow. 182 and a half now for the anglers. Now you know why they wanted to come up there, Dave.
Oh, I know. Steve Perry just got a 19. He'll be uploading here shortly for the lunkers. So that'll be 9 with a 19. I'll take a 9, a ninth fish 19.
Hey, George,
Hi.
Yo,
Yeah, I just got it.
I,
Y'all up to
I see Ray.
160 and a half.
Okay.
what'd
He's
you say that?
I think I said I see Ray. If you were still wondering where he was,
Oh, as long as he didn't
If he's
explode.
got any fish, ask him if he's got any fish.
he's on the backside of that main island.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a local guy out here yesterday while we were pre-fishing, sitting here trying to tell me like how to crappie fish, and I'm like, I'm not trying to crappie fish right now. He's like, no, come on up. He's like, come on up to the house. He's like, I got baits, and I'm like, no, that sounds like I'm gonna get kidnapped. Like you're trying to pull you're trying to pull the panel van with the free candy for a fisherman.
Yeah, that's how you lose a kidney, bro.
Oh. Oh, don't tell me they're schooling.
No, tell me that, please, and show me.
No, they haven't, man. So we were talking about the change here. There's usually a strong schooling bite on this lake in the afternoon, and it hasn't been happening. And it's like, okay, any day now it's going to happen. And I think I see a little bit of it. Of course, I left all my schooling stuff at home. Well, I can tie it up. I just didn't bring it tied on. Interesting.
You've got a box. You've got a box for schooling stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's like your trapper keeper and your folders and your pins.
Yeah, like number 2 pencils. That's
Yeah.
When everybody else throws the A-rig at them, there's much better options. I'll just leave it at that.
yeah.
There's a fish. Finally.
Dave is hooked up on something here.
That's a good, probably a 17 or 18.
Oh God!
If it doesn't get off. With my luck, it would have been a catfish. I did a few of those at the last match. I'll be on the phone with one of my guys talking, and then he's fighting it, talking about how good he's got a good bass, and all of a sudden that sucker rolls. And he said, "Never mind."
He's not as good as I thought. I just hadn't seen one all day, so there he is. I can't see, but
Hey,
I
it's
was,
number
I
10
was sitting.
it'll make
or
10.
11 for y'all if you put it on the board.
I was sitting
11. We
here.
already have 10 now, huh? Couldn't even make a 10th fish.
I was sitting here and I started hearing something chirp at me, and I look over, and this dock's got an automated owl that if you get too close to it, they chirp at you.
Just a 16 and a quarter.
we had there's a dock down in Louisiana, which now the game wardens have come and told them to remove it. It had a motion detector set up with a water sprayer. It would spray you.
Shit.
Well, I can tell
I
you,
don't.
in this 90-degree water out there, you don't mind getting sprayed by lake water.
Yeah. No, I just love so many people. They live on lakes and they think they own the lake in front of their dock, and it's like you don't own the lake. It is a public lake. Like
Well, if they
as
look at
long
it,
as
the core,
yeah, like
if they look at it,
as long
core
as
land, yeah, if they look
yeah,
at it, core land has so far up the bank that they truly own that the core has. And
yeah,
homeowners think they own that part. They don't.
yeah.
They are allowed to have a dock on the water. That's kind of how the Corps sees it.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Fish. Well, it's like, I mean, people think they own all the way. Like, I live on a river, and I've had people that, they decide, hey, I need to just get out for a minute and rest from going down the river. And, like, as long as they're not, destroying my property, I'm fine with, like, guys that are out trout fishing and stuff, like, getting out, you know, you need to take a break, go ahead. As long as you're not, more than 6, 7 feet on my property or you're destroying something, I don't care.
Well, now the Bass Mob have made a move. They're up to 149 and a quarter, with the Motor City Ambassadors behind them at 145 and a half. Berserker Fishing Club still sitting at 45. Mike's still working it for them. Let's see. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 and 10 on the north for the groups. Now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The privateers with 9. The lunkers with 10 and the anglers with 10 on the east side. The anglers were 182 and a half. The lunkers were 176 and 3/4, and the privateers were 141 and a half.
So that last submission there, that was Midwest limit fish. I take it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they were behind by like 9 inches or something. You said with 9. So yeah, and that's I think what it's going to come down to here is, I think it's really just going to come down to an average limit size on this lake, because I'm sure in our submissions is there anything over 16 1/4 still for the north?
An average is 16 and a quarter. No, we got 117 and a quarter for the north.
Okay.
He's got another okayish one. I don't know if he's going to help or not, but he's feisty. He will kind of help.
Tim said he owns the whole lake. He doesn't care.
This guy's got like a full-on boat motor under his dock, just churning up the water. Like it's throwing a weight.
Keep the weeds away.
Oh, I know, but man, like it's a little excessive.
I had what was it? Caney Creek there in Louisiana, one of the big bass lakes. There's a dock that it's not a boat motor, but it has a prop up under the water like a trolling motors. And the way they have it set up and it hits the thing, it creates a current rolling around the dock almost.
You got a 16.
Oh, okay, that helps y'all out some. Gets rid of y'all's 15. Right now, the East has 10 fish for every one of the teams.
Where are y'all fishing in the east?
out. Go out.
Lake Mackintosh.
Lake Mackintosh.
All right.
The local fan
Sounds
favorite.
awesome.
Oh, this
Sounds
place is
great.
silly. This place is silly.
Where is it geographically? Is it?
About 10 minutes from my house. That's just south of I-40, just east of Greensboro by about 20 miles.
All right, I got you there.
Yeah, it's never not on the local trail schedules.
I can't blame you from what it sounds like.
I think can't remember. I think it was like 107 is the best limit here. There's another one, a little bit better. Well, about the same, maybe a little bit bigger.
Dang, it's just not making it. Dang, if he had his board clean. Dang, Sean. No.
Uh-oh, Sean's messing up. James, get
He's
on him.
got 19 and a half. That was close to 19 and 3/4. But I could tell it's not going to make it because the mouth was just starting to crack. So if he made 19 and 3/4, he probably would have had it deducted back down to 19 and a half because of the crack in the mouth. There, let's see how that if that's helped him or did it already
Well,
have.
remember, I think the rules for us are you can get up to a 1/4 inch. This guy has a jacked up mouth, by the way. Another 16 and a quarter.
There we go. Oh, that's a decent one.
So far, we've been pretty lenient. I say lenient. If it's barely cracked and it looks like the tail is trying to touch, they get that deducted because it should have been closed. They wouldn't have made it. But then we had one fish about 3 matches ago. It was definitely open. There was no question about it. So he had the 1 inch deduction.
Oh yeah.
That we got down for it.
This one helps, Zach. This one
There's some good
helps.
fish starting to come in now, a 19 and 18. Still hadn't rolled through for yours yet.
Something anyway. It's sad that He's not even 17, 16.75, and felt like he was huge.
That's another thing I like about this lake. 15-inch bass can trick you real quick. They're short and fat in here.
Sweetheart. There you go.
Amos, he had a open mouth heartbreaking last year on a 21-inch last month.
All right, 16.75 going up.
Brad, by the way, I know you don't have to by any means, but we're supposed to run till 10 o'clock, but it can go as long as you want it to go. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
guys around and you're able to, we can hang on. But
All right.
I understand you got stuff to do as well.
I
So that was 3 back to back in the stretch.
I'd rather do this than mow a lawn.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you.
Should put up.
Yep, 16 3/4, George. Let me look at it here. Yep, you got it just touching that line. Like looking at your board because you got the identifier upside down.
I think Zach's backstage, Brad. He just got one.
All right, added him back on.
Thank you. Got a 16.75, and he got a 18 something.
I got 18 and a quarter coming in.
All right.
Oh,
I just I for some reason I think my headphone ran out of battery and it disconnected me from the show. And I was trying to get back. I was trying to get back in, and of course, as soon as I like threw the bait out, and I was like waiting to get back in the show, it just started running.
Curtis is up this morning there in Florida, saying good morning, everybody.
what's up, Kurt? Just a little tap again.
That one, hey Brad, if you want to take a look at it, it looked 18.25, but it might have been 18.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
I zoomed in as much as I could on my end, but
It's 18
that's
2.5. It is. It's
okay.
crossing
Yeah,
the line, just barely.
that sun glare was hitting right on its tail, and I was trying to position myself, and it would not change.
That bumps y'all back up into the lead now. 155 3/4 against 180, 149 1/4.
Good.
Zach, I think you're causing an echo now that you lost your headphones. Unfortunately.
Oh, I am.
Somebody is. It
Well,
wasn't doing it before, so I'm guessing.
I was gonna say I got my other one, and I put that one on, but
Yeah, I'm on the AirPod too. So
Damien, here, I'll show that they're on Motor. Well, let's see. Zach's on Motor City. Steven's on Virginia Anglers. Let's do a presentation right now.
I know Brad. We talked about it a little earlier, but I don't know if they were on here yet. But if they weren't, happy birthday to my kid. He's mad that I'm missing today.
happy birthday, Stetson.
But
Well, Curtis has asked Dave, what is he fishing with, and what are you keying on?
Right now, I'm just keying on a big overhanging limb that I didn't see. I've been throwing the kitchen sink. I just caught 3 on a chatterbait. Tossing some top water now.
Yeah. If y'all looking at the score that I have on the board, with the Sylvan bales, there's 2. Let's go with what they have in the bowl. So that's what the score is, because all their teams have the same score up under them. And the father is in the lead with beating his son by the better fish. Rub it in a little bit since he's on here.
Well, it's Dad's favorite lake, so I guess it'll be all right this time. There we go.
Oh, that's right. Bell's on here. Oh, I caught those on a shaky head.
the Alabama rigged or whopper plopper.
There you go.
All right. I call on my own.
I like to A-rig my Ned rigs.
That's pulling in the crankbait there on our last match. Had a hook up. Thought it was small bass. Pulled up, and all of a sudden the rod butt comes out of the water.
Oh.
Okay, found a rod. Wasn't worth saving the reel. As I'm picking it up, I start hearing something coming across the water beside me. I'm looking for the next cast as I'm getting this rod out of the water, fishing to put it in the back of the kayak. And all I hear is bloop, 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 coming across the top of the water. It had a buzz bait on it. And as I'm swinging the rod around, the buzz bait now it's going to come out on top of the water and come. And it had about 6 foot of line with it. That's the only thing as I'm picking that up would have been one hit that then.
Yeah.
I can't tell if Dave is trying to get something out of the tree or trying to make the fish angry.
No, I was casting behind me. I was casting.
He did say he didn't
behind
see
me.
George, that was a 15.5, huh?
15.5 on the board.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's cool to catching them.
I'm not used to catching them over 12, so they feel huge.
I feel like I have to go fish this guy's dock. He's got a Detroit Lions flag and a Michigan Wolverines flag. He's just telling me to come over here.
Go App State.
Well, he's one of the guys that has one of these water turbine things going.
Your wife said she heard you about your birthday. Shout out.
Nice. Now she won't be mad at me for missing it.
She said, "Go Dad."
I doubt he said that, but
I really was hard at work.
That's awesome. Yeah, it worked out well though, because I mean, this lake being only 3 hours away from home, by the time we all get off the water, I think it actually, we were talking about it at dinner last night. I think almost every single guy that drove here was about 3 hours. So
Just
So
about.
it just kind of worked out perfect, and then everybody will be home by about 7 o'clock tonight, except for George, who's probably got to fly somewhere. He'll be home at 3:30 next week.
True statement.
Well, it's not so bad when I've looked up on trying to figure out people's teams they're on, and all of a sudden I see Hawaii. And I'm like, what the world?
Yep, he's our eyes in the sky kind of guy. Next year we're holding one of our home events on the Big Island.
I would love it. I'm told
Man,
there's
it is
actually
like
smallmouth on Oahu. Somebody told there's largemouth and peacock, and somebody told me there's actually brown ones up there on Oahu in one of their rivers.
That's crazy. Well, I'm gonna fly out there one of these days, and I expect to go fishing for peacocks because that's one of my bucket list fish.
I would pick Florida for that.
Yeah. Well, I want to come to Hawaii.
Well, then we can go catch other stuff.
Okay.
That's Leos and GTs and Onos.
so much for the cool fall air, man. It is like stagnant, humid, miserable.
Yeah, we were supposed to get a lot of wind today, but in all honesty, as of right now, this is the nicest it's been for the last 2 days that we've been here, or 3 days really.
Oh, I was just supposed to tell Dave that's for something I would have been hung up in. I see that he is hung up in it.
Yeah, and I can see it and I can feel it, and I can't figure out how to get out of it.
There's Ray.
That's I use trees to test my knots. And
I'm thinking I must be like on somebody's braid or something.
periodically just want to double check that yes, that knot was good.
What you got?
That's why I backlash.
Well, when I pull up with the braid, I usually straighten the hook. I bend the hook back, and about the time I catch a good fish, then the hook breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you have a good practice bait. Zach, you said something and then the wind picked up.
I don't know. I say a lot of things.
I'm surprised the weather listened to you.
Well, Rick finally put a fish on the board. You got a 16 and a half. Let's look at it here. Yep. Find Keith's fish.
Come here, you.
Angler.
Throw the phone overboard.
Now you need that.
Yeah, right. Oh, no.
Showing our big fish of the day so far at 21 3/4.
Mr. McGee.
Yep.
15. Come on. No. Come on, don't you?
Are you still fighting with the fish, George?
Yeah, I'm just trying to, because I want him to realize his full potential, and sometimes they just require a little extra guidance.
Talk to Jeremy about that.
Yeah.
we won't.
Those
We
fish
won't
is-
tell Jeremy secrets.
There we go. All right, that's another 15 and a half, it looks like.
I was gonna say, I think we got to be getting to the point where we're getting rid of a few. Here's another decent one. Get away from that buoy. There it is. Oh man, this thing is beat up.
All right, another 15 and a half on the board.
This one's probably gonna go like 16-ish,
Nice.
just by looking at it. Maybe not. We'll see.
Few standings. Take a look at what we're at here.
Stop. His tail is. Oh man, this thing is just. Oh god. He does not want his picture taken.
2 14.75s and a 15 balls.
What'd you say it was, George?
14.75 is just small one.
Yeah, we got 2 of those and then a 15.
Okay, this one's gonna go about 50. This one's gonna go 15 because his tail's like chopped. Hey, I'm not gonna send you a video of this guy, but this is the one that I just caught. His tail's all screwed up, and he's definitely alive.
Okay.
I just want to get him back in the water. That thing is. He must have gotten a fight with something.
Well, George, I don't. Yours should be in there. You already got the 15 and a half, so it's showing.
Yeah, this.
Dang,
If he had a full tail, if this one had a full tail, he'd be about 15 and a half. But
Just the more you talk about this fish, the smaller it gets.
well, yeah, no, because he keeps losing part of his tail. It's falling off. As he wiggles, his tail's falling off.
I don't know how the disease or whatever they call it, where you catch like a 5 or 6 pounder, but by the time you get it to the kayak, it loses weight every 5 seconds. And so when you get it to the kayak, it's like a 2, 2.5.
That's just the fisherman disease. It was this big disease.
They get rid of all their water weights just so suddenly.
Yeah, Florida Bass Nation will be on orange. Yeah, orange is number 2 lake right now in Louisiana. In Florida for big bass. With Fellsmere Headwaters being the number 1. Damien said it's 60 degrees, low humidity there in Arkansas this morning. Wow. Virginia Anglers, small one. They got a cull. They got 3. They got 1 17 1/4.
That's awesome. Good day, guys.
Good job. Yeah.
And the lunkers is 16 and a quarter, so there's an inch difference there, but it's coming up hard.
We got quite a few 16 and a quarters to get rid of, 16 and a half.
Well, you got 116. I take that back. 116. Steve has it. Dang, Zach is on some fish. Let's see about this 15. No, it only makes the 15. You are correct.
Yeah, I think if it would have had a full knot, whatever happened to that fish's tail, it probably could have got a little bit more, but it's like somebody took a razor blade to it.
Caught one that didn't have any tail. I mean, it was off, gone
Yeah.
completely.
It's like that's the kind of tail I would expect to see if they were still like making beds, but man, that thing it was still red on the end of its tail. It definitely was alive because it did not want its picture taken.
Sean Bozeman, he's got 9 right now. Chris Gerhart sitting there with 8 for total fish, with Eric Stark sitting with 7. Steve Perry with 6. We got Zach, George, and Jeremy all sitting with 5.
So we got a long day left too.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Halfway point.
Yeah,
Not
I
even.
mean, on just the way that everything's setting up, I feel like this fight's gonna pretty much be an all day kind of thing. Just what I'm doing it. Like,
Curtis said, Steven, don't tie that spinnerbait on. Yeah. Well, Damien said it's that disease called the dementia. They diminish in their size as they get closer in.
yeah. Does that work if they're around grass too? When you think you got a 10-pounder and it's really only, a 3-pounder with 7 pounds of weeds?
No, it's usually when you think it's 10, you put it all away, you start again, there's no fish there, and as you get the last bit of grass, there's a little fish there.
Right?
I had like a 6-pounder on one day, pulling it in, fighting it. I had felt a bump, so I set the hook, and it felt like nothing was there, and I see the line move, so I set the hook again. Now it feels like 6 good fish on. I see the fish move. I see it. Oh yeah, 20, 22-incher, good fish. And all of a sudden the line went slack.
Oh,
What's wrong? I still feel something on the end. I reeled it up. There was about a 6-inch brim had hit the creature,
ooh,
and it looked like
okay.
it had been mauled to pieces. Dave, you feel like somebody's talking behind your back?
I'm just taking in the sights and reading the. I need to leave this area, but there's some stuff going on. I might need to stay in this area. Decisions. Too early to have this many decisions.
Come on.
May run it up to 11 o'clock y'all's time.
That's probably good for me because I got about 30% left on my video phone. So
I do appreciate everybody being on here.
yeah, well, we appreciate you hosting it.
Well, being here's caught me bigger fish than I was not being here, so I'm down.
Right? You can catch bigger fish on the water than in the sky.
Got some of that B-Rad energy here. He's soothing them, and they're coming near. You can catch them. They're fleeing the Amish at the other end of the lake.
Yeah, I've got a pontoon boat that's got at least 7 or 8 Amish kids fishing off of it, like right across the cut from me. I didn't realize there were
Like,
that
you know
many
these people.
Amish in this area.
All right.
See a fish under there. It's always a scary sound when you're fishing under a dock and you hear something metal just ring off of your bait. You don't know if it's
Yeah,
a
some of these docks.
crossbar or what.
Well, I can deal with the crossbar. It's when they got that cable across the bottom that really
Yep.
gets me, because I know that's going to cut that line hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I know there's quite a few people that, especially these ones that have the boats, the lifters on them, they've got those. There's so many shads stacked up on this wall. Every cast has got them jumping.
Whew.
It's good. I'm seeing fish coming in, but now they're not making that much difference on the. Some of them aren't making any difference on the main part of the board because they're hitting, but they're helping out the individuals because they're all under the size, culling size.
Mm-hmm. Getting to be that time of day.
Yeah. I'll be right back again, gentlemen.
You can tell it's fall or it's colder weather. All you hear is bait casters whipping everywhere. Midsummer, you don't hear any casting at all, and then you hit fall, and it's just bait casters left and right. You know what?
And it's starting to feel it.
I'm not gonna pass up 8 docks, even though I didn't catch anything on them the other day. There's a little cove right here that's got like 8 docks. Half of them, the boats are already out.
Are you just about back to the main big bowl where that big wall is?
I'm on that big main island when you come out of the no wake zone.
Oh, okay.
I'm just on the left side, or it'd be the left side of it. There's
All right.
a no wake buoy. I'm right there.
All right. I thought you were closer to my way.
No,
Oh,
I'm pretty much just making my way back that way right now.
gotcha. Yeah, my hand is starting to feel it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
But we
take a
shall
break for a little
persevere.
bit.
Ain't got time for a break.
So that's what autopilot's for, right?
I wish.
George, are you out into like the second main lake yet, or are you still up in that channel?
No,
Just
I'm
because I
out.
don't want to.
No,
Okay,
you're fine.
I just didn't want to like come out and you be right there.
No, I'm pretty close to where I met up with Jeremy yesterday. Like right
Oh, okay,
before,
yeah,
if you, yeah, where
yeah,
the big wall is, with the one house that's
okay, yeah.
as
I
you
just
come
didn't
out
want
of
to like.
that channel.
I just didn't want to round this corner and have you be right there, because then after that, there's not much to fish after that. So,
Oh no, you're good. You could. The wind's picking up here too, so I'm on the.
yeah,
It's a little windy point.
yeah, my wind's picking up here. Yeah. You'll probably start to see me here in about 10 minutes if you keep
Well,
heading this way.
when you get over here, I'll tell you where to throw some because you may want to see a different color.
Yeah.
Chucking something different around.
Alright. On the table.
I think I see Jeremy. Or maybe that's Mike. I don't know.
All right, we're showing the scoreboard again. Here with Attorney X helping us out. Motor City Ambassadors with 158.5. Midwest Bass Mob with 153. Berserker sitting with 45. That's out of the north. Going to the east, we got the Virginia Anglers with 187.25. The Tar
What's
Heel
that?
Lunkers with 179.
Decent.
And
Well,
North Fork Privateers 156.50.
no, I didn't.
Looking here, this is the numbers we're looking for on the anglers, because the Attorney X is reading the bail team together. So the 55 here inches from senior, that's his 3 fish. Junior has several fish, but they're all undersized. They undersized under the 17.25 inch. He's still got a couple of 16s, I think. 15, I believe. You go back and look at the angler side. You got 9 fish were shown, 8, a 6, there were 5s here. There's senior and junior there.
Let's say Mike from the ambassador, the Berserker team. He's right here, off the side of the island, with me. What's up?
Guys, we're going to stay on about till 11 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock on the central side.
Okay. I don't know.
I would think a top water bait would work good there, Dave.
Mike, wave to the camera. we got Mike on the live now. Yeah. I think I probably caught 5 or 6. I've caught 6. I submitted 5. I started far in, and I figured I didn't want to not end up there, so I figured I'd start there and just make my way back. It's just quad lock makes a holder, and then it's just a clamped it to my Yak Attack stick. So I got my GoPro and my phone on there. It's quad lock. Yeah, they're made for motorcycles.
Yeah, this new Yak Attack is a dream of a holder.
Yeah, I've got the Yak Attack, the boom stick, and then one of the companies that I'm with is Quad Lock. They make cases that basically just go into like I said, they're made for motorcycles, but they go into like a little gear, and then you spin them and they lock in. So I can have it up on this pole and not worry that thing's coming down unless I take it off. So that's a fast boat.
Come on, fish. Where'd you go?
Yeah, been a little while here. I feel like. I just don't understand what people out here put these marker buoys up for, unless they're like marking their dock, because there's nothing underneath that buoy. There's got to be a hungry fish back here. A shaded cove. Maybe not. There's bait fish back here, at least. So that's a good sign.
I must be the only one that talks to myself while I'm fishing.
I do, but I talk really quietly.
'Cause I have conversations with me, myself, and I a good bit.
Oh yeah.
I do it as
I
well. I
saw
just can't
that
get louder than the voices in my head.
when in doubt, set the hook.
I feel like the things that I say to myself though when I fish, I probably shouldn't be saying on a live. So
Well, I understand that too.
just start belittling myself like I'm an idiot. Why'd you cast there?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
This guy has no idea what he's doing. Let's see.
Zach, how deep typically are you up around those docks and piers?
So the ones that are in so everything that I'm targeting, and I don't know if there's any Midwest guys on here, and at this point, you know, I've already caught them all anyways. Um, so the docks that I'm targeting are all in like 4.5 to 5 feet, but the ones that I'm throwing at though are the ones that have grass underneath of them. Um, there's some of these docks that are literally they're just post docks and there's nothing under them. But the ones that I'm really trying to target are the ones that have grass growing underneath, just because these fish are isolating to grass, and you find a dock with grass, good chance there's a fish there. And a lot, like I know the piers out here are weird too because I've never seen this many concrete seawalls on a lake. But the pretty much every seawall out here is just a concrete slab, and the weeds go right up to them. And with that water temperature dropping, those fish are going to isolate to something holding heat, and concrete is a pretty decent conductor of that. So I have found them to where they're just literally tucked right up against that concrete wall. But again, if you can find concrete with grass, then that's even better.
Check out the brain on Brad. I mean Zach.
right? You got a 50% chance if you throw in grass, 50% around docks, 100% chance if it's a dock with grass, right?
There you go. I guess I got to go fish the docks at the marina because there's no one docks on this lake. And they killed the grass. So
About to just throw on that 7-inch swim bait just to see if there's anything really hungry.
I had a big one come up and swipe at a glide bait the other day, so I'm going to make my way back and check on it, see if it's there.
Yeah. Those glide baits are fun to throw, but unfortunately, up by us, I mean, I throw a glide bait occasionally on Saginaw Bay, and you'll get a 14-inch fish come up and take a 7-inch glide bait.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's no reason to spend that much money on a glide bait that's going to catch me the same 14-inch that a swim bait would. They are fun to throw, though.
They're fun. And I've only had one. I haven't thrown them a ton. I just got into them last year. I had one day where it was. I caught like 15 on it, probably nothing giant, but 18s, 19s.
Between that and then the Berkeley call shad, that's the other one that, like, when I'm wanting to throw something big on, I'll throw that. But this guy here's got a Hobie at his dock.
I said I'd make it maybe just do the 2.5 hours here because we got about 6 minutes left. Call that then.
Okay.
Brad, appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate it. Let me get this leaderboard back up here again before we close out for the day. As we stand right now, here, Motor City Ambassadors 158.5. Midwest Bass Ma 153. That's 5.5 inches, I think, between them. Berserker Fishing 45. That's on the north. Now for the east, Virginia Anglers 187.25. Tar Heel Lunkers 179. Norfolk Privateers 161.75. Let's see. The Motor City Ambassadors has a 14.75 for their small one. Bass Mob has a 13.75 for their small one to cull. Virginia Anglers is a 17.25. Tar Heel Lunkers is a 16. And the Privateers still sitting with a 12.5. Big Fish is still 21.75. Keith McGee's for both out of both regions. That's on the east region. On the north region is Mike Remus with a Zach now has an 18.25. So he's come on up there.
I don't know if I'm breaking that 21.5, but we're gonna give it.
After this matches are over for this year, it closes out our year. That'll give each region a chance to look back and figure out who their most valuable player is out of the region. And those will be getting a black pack from Yak Attack from each region.
There's a fish.
And we'll have 2 left.
Oh yeah, George.
Got a fish? Dave's pulling a fish. Then we'll have 2 more to give away at the championship.
So you got what, about a month and a half, 2 months before that.
It should be a good time period there on
Oh
that
yeah,
first weekend in November.
Yep. Well, and if anything, too, it gives guys a chance to, take a break for a little while and know that they're going to get right back at it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Damon, for being on. You might as well measure it, Dave.
I'm getting off the spot. I think there might be a little wad of them up there.
Is that part of that schooling group?
We'll see. He'll help, but not by much. What do we call him, Brad? I forget. 16s?
Let's see. 16. Yeah, 16 is your smallest one.
Half-inch call. If I can get his tail to go right. Little 16 and a half.
Not a bad looking bass. That's a good way to call a day. Appreciate both of y'all being on with the others that were on earlier. If y'all keep up with the board on Facebook, I'll be changing it up and updating it throughout the day. Putting up an updated piece from the leaderboard.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks again, Brad. Appreciate it.
And I hope to see some teams there at Caddo when we come in for our final championship.
Hopefully, we'll see you then.
All right.
See you.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Good luck. Be safe.
Good luck. Glad to have y'all on board, people. Enjoy the day and be safe out there.